if you want to learn how you can actually take the first steps to flourish in your career and your life, then you really want to stay tuned. You're listening to the You Can and You Will show, a podcast that empowers female leaders, high achiever, female executives, and artists to be confident, to overcome their obstacles, and live that exceptional and successful career and life. My name is Catherine Louise, and I'm a business and mindset mentor and communication expert, best known for mentoring female leaders, executives, and artists so that they can flourish in their career and life. In You Can and You Will, I'm sitting down to share the tools to create that success and lifestyle and how to make an impact. Hi, and welcome back to a brand new episode here on You Can and You Will with yours truly, Catherine Louise. I'm so happy to have you back around today. By the way, if you haven't heard about it just yet, you can actually now watch my episodes on YouTube or listen to on your most favorite podcast platform. I'm going to link all of the good stuff down below. I named this episode Taking the First Steps to Flourish in Your Life and Your Career, because I know if you're listening to this, most probably you're really looking into flourishing in your career. But first of all, you would need to understand that, flourishing in your career really means also flourishing in your life. Vice versa, if you flourish in your life, you will definitely also flourish in your career, because your life and your career are intertwined. There is no way around that. If there's something going on in your private life, you will have a very hard or at least difficult time really flourishing in your career, right? Because when your head is full, your head is full no matter where you are. And while it can definitely serve as a really good distraction, you will figure out pretty fast that when you're happy in one, you're gonna thrive in the other. Here's the thing about flourishing and why I particularly choose the word flourishing, because while I do love the concept of improving, here's the thing. Our generation, and it seems to be like that ever since the 80s, where self-improvement, self-development really has become this kind of new age movement. And while I definitely consider myself being a part of that, because as a business and mindset mentor, I obviously know how your mindset is really decisive. Your mindset actually is the biggest part on how you live your life, what kind of house you're living, what kind of car you're driving, what kind of career you have. And I still see to this day how people really underestimate their mindset, because just knowing that only 5%, hear that, only 5% of your actions, of your decisions, of everything that you do every single day, only 5% of that is determined by your conscious mind. 95% of everything that you do, everything that you take action on, every decision that you do is ruled by your subconscious. So you might understand how important your mindset is in everything that you believe. So here's the thing about improving. I believe specifically in our day and age, our generation is so much focused on improving. It has almost become a problem. And here's the thing. What we believe to be true, what we believe to be wrong or bad is, as a matter of fact, a huge part of a somewhat generational belief. Remember how everybody in the 1950s thought females would need to stay at home, look and be dressed all the time and just take care of the kitchen and the family? That was that generation's belief. So now if you want to take a look and see what that generation, accepted as their truth, what they believed to be good and bad and right and wrong, it really differs from this day and age. I think we can fortunately agree on that. But this goes to show that this kind of improvement movement that we have, while it is a very good thing, I believe, and this is why I called it bad before, it's almost like a thing you can get lost in. I'm going to teach you the first steps on how you can flourish in life and career in a second. I just really want to first of all clarify and make sure you're not getting lost in this movement. Because here's the thing, when we all constantly focus on improving ourselves, is it something that you actually really, really want? Or is it a version of you that today's society actually wants you to be? I believe this is a very fair and very difficult question to answer in advance. It is really crucial. And then second of all, and this is the thing I do not like about improving, is because when you're constantly improving and working on yourself, you will just never get into the doing. In order to get somewhere, in order to achieve your successes, your goals, in order to live that life you want to live, you need to take action at some stage. And while I'm a huge believer in self-development and improving, obviously, I just really want to make sure you are not getting lost in that movement, but actually, first of all, know where you're headed to, and then B, and this is equal as important, is taking the necessary steps. So it is not just going to be improving, but it is also doing. That was not a rhyme. And also, one thing I really want you to understand is we're human beings. We're made to have flaws, okay? So while you may go ahead and improve and work on yourself, which is a good thing, I do that every single day, you will also have to understand that we as human beings, we're never going to be perfect and we're never going to be done. I know this is a bummer, but seriously, we're human beings. We're here on this beautiful planet Earth to grow and expand and learn. Just because you're done with school and done with college, it really does mean you're by any means done. And I know there are people out there who believe like, once you're done with your education, you're set for life. You just go ahead and work and live a happy life. But as human beings, we totally thrive from learning new things and expanding and growing. And I certainly know this to be true because there is no point in life you will ever see me not learning something new. And I understand that some people need that more than others. And I'm definitely one of the species needing it a lot. Well, it is important that from all of the learning, from all of the improvement, we actually take the next steps and then implementing the new thought patterns. Like from all of your improvement, what have you actually learned? What has actually changed? What can you actually do with that, right? Because the one thing is knowing it in your mind, but then as a consequence, you will have to put it in action at some form. And that also works by implementing the new strategies that you have, implementing new routines. And I've read that so many times. You might know and be familiar with all of the millionaire routines. I'm not sure if you have to get up at 4 a.m. Like I know wealthy people not getting up at 4 a.m. They really don't. But what I do believe, and I think this is also the concept behind getting up at 4 a.m., it is not actually getting up at 4 a.m., but it is having a routine. And I want to clear up one misconception. Having a routine doesn't mean doing the same thing every single day. A routine could also be traveling a new country once a month, right? This experience is also a routine. What I mean by routine is really having things that you do in place at a regular time. For some people, this is daily. For some people, this is weekly or every 2 weeks or once a month. Whatever works for you, really trying to figure that out. What I recommend to my clients and what I walk them through is really almost playing with new things. And an important thing here is while it might be really beneficial to take a look at what other people that you love, that you're inspired by, what kind of routines do they have in place? But then don't just go ahead and copy them because they might not work for you at all. But really take what resonates with you, things that you believe you could really have fun with, that you might enjoy, and then go ahead and try implementing that into your life and see how it works for you. Implementing new strategies and implementing new thought patterns You might be like, well, okay, that's just two things. That's not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal when you do it right, right? So really take your time and figure out what kind of new strategies are you looking to implement and how do you want them to implement. That is a huge thing. And then also when it comes to new thought patterns, as I said before with the routines, really play around with it. It's almost like test driving different cars. Really figure out what is yours, what feels somewhat easy for you, and then when you do it, what makes you really flourish. And here's the thing about flourishing in your life and your career. When you implement those changes, those new things, and actually have them become a habit, you will feel it. You will feel it in your body. You will feel it in your bones. And this is probably a given. But here's the thing. When you flourish, when you feel good, when you have those routines and thought patterns in place, you will also work differently. You will take action differently. And this is what it comes down to when you really flourish in your career. Another thing which makes a huge difference, and I believe I've been talking about this before, but I'm not going to get tired of speaking about it, is take a look at the people surrounding you in your life. What I mean by that is, are those people that you spend the majority of your time with, are those really your people? Do they cheer you on? Do they know what you're talking about? Do they know your struggles and what you're going through? Do they celebrate your wins together with you? Or do you have to keep everything on the hush because they just wouldn't even understand what you're talking about? It is so important to have people on your team, to spend your time with people who know what you're talking about. I always call that speaking the same language. And while I'm not talking about English or Chinese or Japanese or whatever, I talk about, do they understand where you're coming from? Do they understand the concept of what you're talking about? And this is so important because when you are surrounded by people like you, going through the same things, aiming towards the same things, going for the same kind of career, it will make you thrive so much, because just knowing the fact that you're not alone with all of that and just seeing how other people are handling those situations will make you understand that this is not you. You know, you haven't done something wrong, or it is not your misconception of certain situations, but that those situations are actually a common thing to happen. Just knowing that, seeing that, understanding that will lift you to a whole nother level. So my beautiful business bees, I truly hope you loved today's episode. If you did, please make sure to leave that 5-star review on your most favorite podcast platform. Or if you've been watching this show, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to not miss out on any new episode. And I'm looking very much forward to talk to you next time. Bye!